Tim Hixon is such a wonderful Texan and also a global citizen. His passion and dedication to wildlife and natural resource conservation is, I think, unmatched and unparalleled. He firmly believes in leaving this planet a better place than when he entered it, and he has made a model out of everything he's ever touched.
We'd heard about him, knew he's from San Antonio, knew he is not a natural-born Texan. Knew he had that great bumper sticker on his truck that said, "I wasn't born in Texas, but I got here as soon as I could." We kind of thought he was going to be okay. And one of the things that always has impressed me about Tim is that Tim never would have his mind made up till he came to the meeting. And he wanted to hear all the testimony, he wanted to hear all the input from the staff, and then he would vote, and it was always the right decision. You always did what was best for Texas. And not only would you do what was best for Texas, you did what was best for Texans yet to be born.
Perhaps the most wonderful thing about Tim is his wisdom, his solid judgment, his dedication to being sure that the right priorities are set, to being sure that conservation and the outdoors has a seat at the table in any discussion that's going on in the state of Texas. A great example of Tim's dedication to conservation is the Government Canyon project. He really worked for years, put a lot of his own sweat and blood into it to be sure that Government Canyon became a reality, and because of his dedication, Texas is a better place today.
Tim Hixon is the best kind of conservationist. He was literally cut from the same cloth as Teddy Roosevelt. He's an accomplished sportsman in his own right. He's a very effective statesman for conservation, and I think most importantly, though, he's a man of service. His and Karen's leadership in protecting Government Canyon, one of the most special and unique places in the state, helping to conserve the Edwards Aquifer, investing in the future of our youth with the Texas Youth Hunting Program. He's just fine a man as they come.
Tim joined the board of the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation 6 years ago. One of the things I've appreciated most about having Tim as part of my board has been the Texas style that he brings in terms of directness. Our board sometimes can be a little difficult to work with. We tend to have a lot of big New York personalities. And Tim, sometimes I don't quite know how to deal with him. He's a results-oriented guy, but it's common sense results. He's straight, he's direct, he's honest. We all know Tim has been an incredible philanthropist, and you're incredibly fortunate here in the state of Texas to have him in his vision.
If somebody asked me to name one person who would be my conservation hero, it would have to be Tim Hixon. He's been an outstanding supporter of the Cesar Claiborne Wildlife Research Institute, serves on our advisory board, and he and Karen have probably contributed more to the ocelot recovery program here at the Institute than any single person. Tim has been president of the oldest conservation organization led by hunters called the Boone and Crockett Club, founded by Teddy Roosevelt in 1887. He's my hero in conservation, and I count him as a personal friend, and I appreciate all the things he does for Texas and the nation.
We're so privileged to have him here in Texas, dedicating his life, his resources, his talent to doing what's right for Texas and its land. And we are often admiring and kind of a little bit surprised by the lengths to which Tim will go to make something happen for the right reason. But he does take his time. He worries about the birds, the species, water, what's going on with grasses, what does this affect air, habitat. He is a completely Renaissance man for conservation. And I think in some ways Tim might have loved living a few hundred years ago, but we're just glad that he's here in the 21st century doing what he's doing for Texas and for other places that he's been and touched.